Do you have psychological safety within your team? And what's the deal with all that anyway? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to the Team Coaching Lounge, where leaders and coaches connect and have casual conversations about team coaching and other team-related topics.
Hello, I'm Susan,
And I'm Claudia.
and we are both accredited team coaches, and we often work together to co-coach corporate teams. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's conversation.
Susan, psychological safety. It's a topic near and dear to our hearts. You have a little story to share. Go ahead.
I do, unfortunately, an actual story from my past life in corporate world. Psychological safety needs to be created, developed, and nurtured. It's not a one and done there. So years ago, I was on a senior management team. We all got along really great. We all felt comfortable sharing our ideas and opinions. No one ever got upset or offended. We socialized together outside of work. It was great. We really had psychological safety. Unfortunately, over time, we lost it. If I reflect back on it now, I don't know when that actually happened. I just remember the moment when I realized it was gone. We were actually sitting in a meeting talking about quarterly objectives, and the VP was just going on about them and asking for input and feedback. And the silence was just, it was painful. Nobody wanted to say anything, and we realized we had to say something, and it was just all yes we agree, yes we agree, just let's just get this over with. um and so after that I just kind of thought, I'm like, wow, we don't have this anymore. We don't sit around and brainstorm anymore. We don't even really communicate with each other outside of these regular meetings, and we didn't socialize outside of work anymore. And it was like, wow, what happened and where did it go? It was just gone.
Yeah, yeah. And there are cases like that where it just kind of creeps or kind of like, dissolves and you don't know where it went. And sometimes there
Mhm.
might actually be some traumatic stuff happening, right? Of somebody
Yeah.
getting into major conflict or getting put down by an authority figure or something like that. But something happens, whether you are aware of it in the moment or not, and all the stuff that you might have built kind of dissolves. And
Yeah.
so for those of you that might not have heard the definition of psychological safety yet, if we maybe take a step back, I think the
Mhm.
one that's most commonly known is by Amy Edmondson. And she said that psychological safety is the belief that one will not be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, concerns, or mistakes, and that the team is safe for interpersonal risk taking. I think that's a beautiful way that she put it, and
Yes.
so we see that it's just a way that people can communicate, can show themselves, can make their contribution known without the fear of retaliation or ostracization. Not fear of
Being
being
ostracized.
ostracized. There we go. In any case, this is yeah, right. So and so it is a foundational pillar for any performant team. I don't think that you can imagine a team that functions well without this being in place. So for us as team coaches, it is very obvious that it is part of every team coaching engagement. We check this at the beginning of every engagement with a new client, and sometimes even along the way, to really get a feel for where this team is at. And this is independent of the actual objectives that we might be addressing with this team. We check it. Okay, it's like when you go to the doctor and they always check your basic blood level
Mm-hmm.
values, right, in order to make sure that stuff is not out of whack. And so if we discover some issues in terms of psychological safety, we stop and we address this first with the team in order to really iron it out, and then we can go
Mm-hmm.
from there and get work done much more productively after that.
Yeah, it just reminds me of a time again in corporate where an HR person, people person was asking about psychological safety and if, I felt comfortable talking about it. And I'm like, I have to have psychological safety in order to say I don't have psychological safety.
It's
I'm
a
not
big
going to feel comfortable saying I don't have it if I don't feel I have it. So it's really difficult to uncover sometimes.
Right. And so I think that getting these assessments done or talking about it under the umbrella of aggregation, meaning we only look at comprehensive results of assessments or discussions that are being interviews that are being held in a very confidential manner with the team coach, that people are able to speak up. And we're never going to say, oh, Mary says this or John does not say that,
Yes.
but it's always in the aggregate. What we deliver is team results. So because this is happening under kind of this cloak of confidentiality and aggregation, people are able to
Mm-hmm.
share. So as team coaches, we kind of have the privilege that we might be able to get to the meat of the matter, even if maybe the team leader might not, as easily get access.
Right. Right. So, yeah, let's kind of dig into what Timothy Clark identifies as the four stages of psychological safety. And we'll talk through those, and then we'll give some examples that maybe you as a leader can relate to that will give you a signal of whether you have it or you don't. So, yeah, the first stage is inclusion safety. And this is where members feel safe belonging to the team and are comfortable in being present, and they don't feel excluded, and they feel wanted and appreciated within the team.
Right,
So,
right. So if somebody were to have it, this inclusion
mhm,
safety, they might say something like, I feel as a part of the team and not as an outsider. I am included in all discussions. I have a voice. On the
mhm,
opposite side, if that were not the case, the leader might hear things like, I don't feel like I belong. They always go to lunch without me. They always do stuff in their clique or discuss things or agree with each other, and I have no place in that. Right?
yes,
Inclusion, safety. Yeah.
yes. And we've seen both sides of that. The next stage is learner safety. So, this is where team members are able to learn through asking questions. They feel safe in experimenting and making small mistakes, and they're comfortable admitting their mistakes, and they're comfortable in asking for help from other team members or their leaders.
Right.
Want some
So if
examples?
somebody had learner safety, they might say something like, I am comfortable asking team members and or the manager for help when I don't understand something. And this is no position to somebody who doesn't have this learner safety, who might say, this thing is taking me longer than I thought to get done, but I cannot ask anyone for help. I'm on my own and I have no choice but to figure it out by myself.
Yeah. And they may not say that, but they may be thinking that. So that's where you gotta kind of dig in. The third stage is contributor safety. And this is probably the most difficult stage because this is where team members have to be okay being vulnerable, right? They have to feel safe. They actually feel safe contributing their own ideas without the fear or of embarrassment or being ridiculed or criticized.
Right, right. So, somebody who has contributor safety might state, I love our brainstorming sessions. Everyone just throws out their ideas and with no judgment. Versus somebody who doesn't have that safety might say, I have ideas about this process that will make it more efficient, but they'll just laugh because I haven't been here that long.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're holding back and
Holding
don't
back.
contribute. Yeah.
Yep. And the final fourth stage is challenger safety. And this is where team members feel comfortable questioning other team members' ideas, including those in authority. And they are capable of suggesting significant changes to ideas, plans, or ways of just working.
Right, right. So again, somebody who feels safe in terms of challenger safety would say, when coming up with quarterly objectives, I feel good about sharing my opinion and it is welcomed. Somebody who feels who feels challenged, somebody who feels not so strong in their challenger safety might say, these objectives are ridiculous, but if I say that, my VP will get really upset at me.
Yeah.
They don't, so they don't.
So they don't say anything. Yes. Yeah. As a leader, I think a key sign is if you're having a meeting and you're the only one talking.
It's a big
Might
one.
need to pause there and think about that. Yes.
Good one, good one. That would be step
I've been
one.
there. Yep.
Okay, so that concludes today's conversation. Do you agree?
I think so. Yeah. There's a
Okay.
lot
Well,
there.
I certainly hope that you enjoyed and you will join us again for some future episodes.
I'm sure you will. And I enjoyed it too. So
Right,
it's fun.
right. So if you have stuff to share, if you have an anecdote or a case study or a question that you would like to share, please reach out to us on social media or put a comment in under the video on YouTube and we will get back to you. Or you may also be on the show if you so want.
That would
So
be fun.
that would be fun. We're absolutely game for that. So have fun and beware of the psychological safety criteria. And we will
Yes.
see you soon. Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.